Prepositions. Some important rules. A preposition cannot be followed by a verb. A verb placed immediately after the preposition must be in the gerund form. For example, he prevented me from drinking cold water. He insists on trying again. When the object of the preposition is an interrogative pronoun, what, who, whom, which, where, etc., the preposition usually takes end or front position. For example, what are you thinking of? Who were you talking to? It used to be thought as ungrammatical to end a sentence with a preposition, but it is now well accepted. When the object of the preposition is a relative pronoun, that the preposition takes end position. For example, here is a magazine that you asked for. This is the dish that she is fond of. When the object of the preposition is infinitive, with to followed by a verb, the preposition is placed after the infinitive. For example, this is a good hotel to stay at. I need a pencil to write with. In some sentences, preposition is attached with the verb. These verbs take appropriate prepositions along with them. For example, I hate being laughed at. This I insist on. In some cases, the preposition comes in the beginning. These are usually interrogative forms. For example, by which train did you come? For whom was the instruction given? The use of some important prepositions. First, at, in, on. The use of these prepositions is in reference of time. At is used for a precise time. In is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. On is used for days and dates. The use of these prepositions is in reference of the place. At is used for a point. In is used for an enclosed space. On is used for a surface. Second, at, in, to, into. At shows stationary position or an existing state, while in shows movement. For example, she is at home. The train is in motion. At for small place, town, etc., while in for big place, town, city, countries, etc. is used. For example, he lives at Alwar in Rajasthan. A temple is situated at Madurai in Tamil Nadu. At is used for a point of time and in is used for a period of time. For example, the train will arrive at 6 in the morning. He will meet you in the morning. In, into. In shows existing state of things, while into shows movement. For example, he jumped into the river. There are 3 students in the class. In can also be used as an adverb. Come in means enter. Get in, into the train. To, into, or into is used as following. In the direction of, turn to the right. Destination, I am going to Jaipur. Until, from Monday to Friday, 5 minutes to 10. Compared with, they prefer hockey to soccer. With indirect object, please give it to me. As part of an infinitive, I like to ski, he wants to help. In order to, we went to the store to buy soap. To the inside of, we stopped into the room. Change of condition, the boy changed into a man. Third, on or onto. On can be used for both existing position and movement. For example, he was sitting on his bag. Snow fell on the hills. On can also be used as an adverb. For example, go on or come on. On to is used when there is movement involving a change of level. For example, people climbed onto their roofs. He lifted her onto the table. Fourth, with or by. With is used for instruments and by is used for agents. For example, the snake was killed by him with a stick. The letter was written by Suresh with a pencil. Fifth, since, for or from. Since is often used with present perfect or past perfect tense. Since is used for a point of time and never for place, as for example, since 6 o'clock, last night, last Monday, or since morning. For example, it has been raining since 2 o'clock. He has been ill since Monday. Since can also be used as an adverb. For example, he left school in 1983. I haven't seen him since. It is 2 years since I last saw Tom. For is used for a period of time. For example, for 2 hours, 2 days, 2 years, or forever. For example, boil it for 2 hours. He lived in this house for 6 months. For is also used with the present perfect tense or past perfect tense for an action which extends up to time of speaking. For example, he has worked here for a year. It has been raining for 2 hours. From is normally used to or till, until. Example, most people work from 8 to 6. From can also be used of place. For example, he is from Mumbai. Where do you come from? Sixth, for or during. During is used with known periods of time, that is, periods known by name such as Christmas, Easter, or periods which have already been defined. For example, during the Middle Ages, during the summer, during his childhood. It rained all Sunday but stopped raining during the night. She was ill for a week and during that week she ate nothing. For may be used to denote purpose and may also be used before known periods. For example, I went there for summer. I rented my house for my holidays. For has various other uses. For example, he asked for 10, I paid 6 for it. He has been ill for 3 days. Seventh, below, under, beneath. Below and under both mean lower than, in level, and sometimes either can be used, but under usually denotes physical contact and below denotes space between the things. For example, he put the books under the pillow. He placed the lamp below the almari. They live below us. I was wearing a sweater also under the jacket. Below and under may also mean junior in rank. For example, he is under me, which means that I am superior to him. He is working under me. Below is used meaning opposite to the above. The temperature can fall below 15 degrees Celsius. Rainfall has been below average this year. Beneath. Something that is beneath another thing is under the other thing. For example, I could see the muscles of his shoulders beneath his t-shirt. I found pleasure in sitting beneath the trees. The frozen grass is crunching beneath his feet. Beneath could also mean unworthy as per status or in lower strata in social class. For example, it is beneath his dignity to beg for money. She married beneath her which means into a lower social class. 8th, in or within. In means the maximum time limit, while within means period up to which the work will be completed. Within a particular length of time means before the length of time, while in refers the maximum time required for the completion of the job. For example, I will complete the work within a month. I can repair the car within 2 hours. 9th, ago or before. Ago is used for past events, while before is used in reference to 2 events. For example, he came 3 days ago. The train had left before he reached the station. 10th, beside or besides. Beside and besides have altogether meanings. Don't confuse beside with besides. Beside means at the side of. For example, he was sitting beside Tom. Besides means in addition to or as well as. For example, he has a car besides a motorcycle. 11th, between, among. Between is normally used for 2 things or persons, but it can also be used of more when we have a definitive number in mind and there is a close relationship or association within them. For example, he distributed his property between his 2 sons. Among is usually used for more than 2 persons or things when we have no definite number in mind. For example, he was happy to be among friends again. 12th, among or amongst. Both have the same meaning. Either of them can be used if followed by the. If followed by a word beginning with a vowel, amongst can be used. The use of amongst is usually found in literary writings. For example, he distributed the toffees among or amongst the poor. He distributed the toffees amongst us. 13th, off or off. Off and off are usually used in the following situations referring to location, east of here, the middle of the road. Possession, a friend of mine, the sound of music. Part of a group, one of us, a member of the team. Measurement, a cup of milk, 2 meters of snow. For off, not on, away from. Please keep off the grass. At some distance from. There are islands off the coast. 14th, above or over. Above and over both mean higher than, and sometimes either can be used. For example, the helicopter hovered above or over us. White flags were waved above or over the buildings. But over also means covering, or on the other side, or across. For example, I put a cloth over her. He lives over this mountain. There is a bridge over the railway line. Above can have none of these meanings. Over can mean higher in rank. He is over me, which means that he is my immediate boss. Over is also used with meals, food, or drink. For example, we had a chat over a cup of tea. The matter was discussed over lunch. Above is also used meaning earlier or previous. For example, he lives at the above address. For details, please see page 1 above. 15th, make of or made from. Both refers materials which are being used. Made of is used when the shape of the material is not changed. For example, a notebook is made of papers. A house is made of bricks. Make from is used when the shape of the material has undergone a lot of change. For example, butter is made from milk. Paper is made from grass. 16th. In or with. In is used in the following situations. Place thought of as an area. For example, in London, in Europe. Within a location, in the room, in the building. For large units of time, that happened in March of 1992. With a certain time, I will return in an hour. By means of, write in a pencil, speak in English. Condition, in doubt, in hurry, in secret. A member of, he is in the Navy. Wearing, the boy in the blue shirt. With reference to, lacking in ideas, rich in oil. With is used in the following situations. Accompanying, he came with her. I have the keys with me. Having or containing, here is a book with a map of the island. By means of using, I repaired the shoes with glue. Manner, with pleasure, with ease, with difficulty. Because of, we were paralyzed with fear. Agreement, I agree with you. 17th. Opposite or in front of. Opposite is used meaning antonym and position in front. In front of always means front position. See the following example. Ram and Shyam are having a meal. Ram is sitting at one side of the table and Shyam is sitting at the other side. Other examples. Ram is sitting opposite Shyam. His house is opposite ours. In front of is always used in the following ways. He parked the car in front of the hotel. He put the plates on the table in front of us. 18th. By or before. By a time, by a date usually implies before that time or date. For example, the train starts at 7:15, so you better be at the station by 7. By followed by a time expression structure is often used with future perfect tense. For example, by the end of July, I'll have read all the books. Before can also be used as a preposition or a conjunction or an adverb. For example, before signing the agreement, let us discuss each and every point threadbare. This is the use as a preposition. Before you sign this, you can discuss it with your father. Here it is used as a conjunction. I've seen her somewhere before. Here it is used as an adverb. 19th. After or afterwards. After must be followed by a noun, pronoun or a gerund. For example, after breakfast he ordered a taxi. If we do not like to use a noun or a pronoun or gerund, we cannot use after, but we can use afterwards or then. For example, don't have a meal and run immediately afterwards. 20th. But or except. Both have the same meaning and are usually interchangeable. After nobody, none, nothing, nowhere, etc., usually but will be used. For example, nobody but Shyam knew the way. Nothing but the best is sold in our shop. Except is used when the prepositional phrase comes later in a sentence. For example, nobody knew the way except Shyam. 21st. To or towards. The preposition to indicates movement with the aim of a specific destination, which can be a place or an event. For example, I am going to the USA tomorrow. I need to go to the bank. Can you tell me the way to the station? Are you going to the party? That up to is often expressed movement to a person. For example, she came up to me and asked me what the time was. The preposition to is sometimes used to indicate a specific position, especially if a person or object is facing something. For example, there's a door to your left. He stood with his back to the window. Towards, the preposition towards indicates movement in a particular direction. For example, everyone sitting in the room turned towards me. She was carrying a suitcase and walking towards the railway station. 22nd. Through or into. The preposition through refers to movement within a space which can be thought of as three-dimensional. For example, they drove through some spectacular countryside. The canal flows through the city center. Through usually suggests movement across an entire space from one side of something to another. For example, he cut through the wire. The preposition into refers to movement from the outside to the inside of a three-dimensional space. For example, we got into the back of the car. She reached into her bag and found the keys. With certain verbs, into can be used to express the idea of movement in the direction of something, often resulting in actually hitting it, as in the example below. He looked straight into her eyes. She swerved and crashed into the fence. Preposition omitted. First, some transitive verbs do not take prepositions with them. Such commonly used verbs are reach, resist, resemble, afford, accompany, attack, assist, pick, pervade, proceed, obey, order, combat, benefit, inform, etc. For example, he ordered for a cup of tea would be incorrect. He ordered a cup of tea is correct. India attacked on Pakistan would be incorrect. India attacked Pakistan is correct. Second, home. If verbs showing movement like go, get, etc. is used with home, we should not use any preposition before home. For example, it took 3 hours to get home. I went home by bus. If any pronoun, adjective, phrase is used immediately before home, the use of prepositions is necessary. For example, she returned to her husband's home. I went to his home. The preposition at is also used with home. For example, you can do this work at home. We can stay at home. Verbs denoting command, request, invitation, and advise. For example, advise, ask, beg, command, encourage, implore, invite, order, recommend, remind, request, tell, urge, warn, can be followed directly by the person addressed without the use of the preposition to. For example, I advised her to wait. We urged him to try again. I reminded them that there were no trains after 8 p.m. She warned him that the ice was thin.